What's going on, everybody? We are back with another Prize Picks video. This one we're talking about the Super Bowl. Super excited for this game. Niners Chiefs. I think it should be a good one. The spread is like 2 points or less in this game, so it should be a close one, fairly high scoring. We're going to get into this one. If you guys are new on Prize Picks, it's a player prop site. Definitely get on here. You get a 100% deposit match, a free square for the Super Bowl here. Patrick Mahomes over a half passing yard. Just use the code down below in the description to sign up for Prize Picks. Also, we have a private Discord around Prize Picks with 5+ cappers in there who are posting slips daily in the Discord. Some massive hits have been happening in the private Discord. You see Coley over here hit a 6-pick slip yesterday. A ton of massive hits, people hitting demon slips over here, which are higher payouts. So definitely check out the private Discord, less than $1 per day for that. So over in the private Discord, if you want to see picks from 5+ cappers, I'm just one capper in there, but let's get into some of my favorite picks for you guys to consider for this video. So the first one is going to be Brock Purdy. Going to be going to him over on the pass yards of 248.5. This is a line that Purdy has hit just about every other game this season. We can take a look at this one over on Outlier, which is a data site for player props that I use every single day. It's a great tool, in my opinion. You can see over here, Brock Purdy on the season, he's hit this in 67% of games. So actually more than what I initially said. 67% of games, 2/3, 12 of his 18 games this year. And if you don't count the first 2 games where the Niners didn't look as dominant as they did later in the season, he's hit this in 12 of 16 games, which is maybe 80%, 75%, something in that range, but definitely a higher percent in his last 16 games. He's hit it in his last 2 games. They've been competitive games where Purdy's had to throw a good amount. I think that's going to be the same. There's been games this year where Purdy hasn't thrown that much, but I think he's going to have to throw a good amount in this one. So liking Purdy. The Kansas City defense is the 4th ranked. This is just regular season stat, doesn't take into account the playoffs, like last game when they allowed 277 passing yards or something to Lamar Jackson. That's not taken into account in this yardage allowed. Also, in my opinion, Kansas City has played some pretty bad quarterbacks this year compared to other teams. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. They played Justin Fields week 3, Zach Wilson week 4. They played the Broncos and Russell Wilson, who struggled twice here. So 5 games already playing, in my opinion, bad passing quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts, terrible season. Then we got the Raiders with their backup twice. And then the Bengals and the Chargers both with their backup. So those 9 games out of 17, over half the games, in my opinion, they played bad NFL quarterbacks as far as passing goes. So I think that stat is a little bit misleading, of 4th in the league in passing yardage allowed. It only takes into account regular season. Gave up 277 yards last game to Lamar Jackson. Just for comparison's sake, over here I would say that the Niners have played a bad quarterback once, twice, 3 times, 4 times here to the Commanders, and then I guess maybe there's another bad one in here. The Eagles actually 5 bad quarterbacks, in my opinion, that the Niners have played compared to 9 for the Chiefs. So I do think they played a easy regular season schedule as far as facing elite passing quarterbacks. Going to Purdy here, I think he's going to have to throw a lot. Going to be a close competitive game here like we've seen in the last 2 playoff games for the Niners. So I think that's a good one to go to. And then for the next pick, going to Deebo Samuel, who I'm going over on the receiving yards. Not a number he's hit a lot this year, but I do think in the biggest game of the season, obviously for the Super Bowl and the 49ers, that they're going to get the ball to Deebo a lot. This is one of the top picks. Almost 100,000 people have taken Deebo on this line. We can look at Deebo over here on Outlier. On the season, this is one that he's hit only 7 of 17 games. But there have been a few games here where Deebo has got hurt and left the game and barely played. So honestly, it's more like 7 of 14 or half the games he's gone over this line. Went over it in the last game, and I think they're going to get him the ball a good amount in this one. If we look at the Niners snap counts, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Deebo here on the second line. You can see in week 6, he played 15% of the snaps. And then week 18, he only played 33%. And then week 20, he played 14%. So those were all due to injury. He normally will play like 77%. This week, he played 96% of the snaps. So I think he's going to see 80% or more of the snaps in this game. So definitely liking Deebo to pair with Brock Purdy here for the second pick. And then for the third pick, we're going to go to OddsJam, which is another great tool. They give you the best value picks based on whatever player prop site you're on. So right now we're on the Prizepicks tab. One of their top picks for this game is going to be Fred Warner under 8.5 tackles plus assists. You can see the lines over on Underdog. This one's just at 8 flat, and then we have it at -135, -155 on Fliff. So a lot of these sportsbooks expect Fred Warner to go under 8.5 tackles in this game. You can also pull this one up on Outlier to look at the stats a little bit. Fred Warner has only gone over this one in 42% of the games, 8 of 19. Last game he did absolutely smashed it, but there have been a good amount of games where he's gone under it this year. And then we can also look at last year because it's basically the same defense, and he only went over this in 35% of games last year. Definitely one that I'm liking. We're going to target here head-to-head as well. They did play the Chiefs in 2022, so last year, and he only got 6 tackles against the Chiefs. So going to Fred Warner on the under for the OddsJam pick here. Great tool to also check out that has a free trial and 25% off with the link down below. And if you guys want to place regular bets on the Super Bowl or NBA or whatever and player props, definitely check out Bet365. You're going to get an insane welcome bonus for new customers. It's a site basically just like DraftKings, but you're going to get a ton of free money. If you bet just $5, you're going to get $150 in bonus bets on Bet365 for the first bet safety net of $2,000 in bonus bets, which essentially means if you bet $500 on something, you're going to get $500 in bonus bets. Or if you bet $2,000 on your first bet, you're going to get $2,000 back in bonus bets. So an insane deal here from Bet365 going on for the Super Bowl. So definitely check them out. That'll be linked down below to take advantage of this deal. Just like Prizepicks or FanDuel, which most of you guys probably are already on. I highly recommend taking advantage of this deal here for the free money. So now back to the picks for the Chiefs. The next one I'm going to go to here is Mahomes. Obviously, we're taking the pass yards, but when you take this one or use up all your slips with it, another recommendation here for you guys to consider is going to be Mahomes on the rush attempts over 4.5. Mahomes has been running a lot, and in this game against another top defense, I think that he's going to have to use his legs in this game. Expect to be a close game, back and forth. Mahomes going to have to be making plays. This is a Super Bowl. He's going to be going all out in this game, and I think he's going to have over 4.5 rush attempts. If we look at Mahomes on Outlier, you could see this season, 10 of 19 games, he's had over 4.5 rush attempts. Last 2 games, 6 in each game in close ones. In not so close games, like against Miami, he only had 2 attempts. And against Chicago, they won by 31. He only had 3 attempts. So in the closer games, I do think that he runs more, and he's just going to be going all out. He was also a little banged up in the middle of the year, wasn't running as much. Now seems to be pretty healthy, running a lot, has had a good amount of rest for this one. So I think this is a great spot here after you use all the free squares over here on Prizepicks of a half passing yard. Definitely one to consider is going to be the rush attempts here. And then for the next pick in this game, we're going to go to Richie James, and we're taking the under for Richie James here. 4.5 receiving yards. This is actually one that he's hit, if we look at him over here, a decent amount this season. But for the Super Bowl, the Chiefs are just getting fully healthy on the wide receiver end here. And Richie James, I think, is going to see his production cut. So in 7 of 12 games, he's hit this one. And basically, he is somewhat of a deep threat, but mostly what they've been using him for is just those short screen passes behind the line of scrimmage. Last 2 games, he hasn't had any receiving yards. He had 1 target against Baltimore, none against Buffalo. We can look at his snap count over here, and we could see the first game, he got the most snaps that he has basically all year, besides Week 18 when all their guys were resting. He saw 23 snaps. That was before Rashee Rice was really playing, who just saw 20 snaps. In the playoffs, he's seen 30% or less snap share here. But that's been without Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore. I do expect Sky Moore to be back, and Sky Moore in most of the games this year, he's played 50% or more of the snaps. So I do kind of expect him to come in here and take a good amount of snap share from Richie James in this game. And Sky Moore has been a player they used like they've been using Richie James on those behind line of scrimmage passes here. And if you mix in Toney, if he does get in the game, I don't even know if he will. It seems like he's healthy, but you don't know. That's just another receiver in there that could take away from Richie James. Also, you have Mecole Hardman, who just played one snap last game after fumbling twice the game before that. So we could see more Mecole Hardman as well. We even saw Justin Ross last game. So there's just a ton to go around. And Richie James, I can't really trust him in this one. No catches the last 2 games. I think his snap share is going to get cut even more. You can, on Outlier, also look at games that he's played with Sky Moore. And we can see it does bump down to just half the games he's gone over this. Not liking Richie James, you might say this is a bit of a riskier play because he basically just needs 1 catch to hit this. But I really do think he's not going to see a target in this game. So that's the pick I'm going to go with. If you guys enjoyed this and want more picks, we have 5+ cappers in the private Discord for less than $1 per day. We've been going hard on NBA, NHL. Back for one last NFL game here for the season, so definitely check it out. Also, definitely jump on this deal from Bet365. $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, or if you're a high roller, you can get up to $2,000 in bonus bets. Crazy deal they have going on for the Super Bowl. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take advantage of all the free money from Prizepicks and Bet365. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in another video.